Are you ready for the Halloween?
Princess the Bear here. Today we're at Disney Springs because it's time to continue the Halloween pregame.
We're going to Jock Lindsey's Hangar Bar.
Yes, the Haunted Hangar Bar has returned, and as your number one choice of food infotainment, we want all the haunted treats to ourselves, and we'll share a few with you because remember, she's vegan. I'm not. There will be no Ghosted Bear this year.
It's time to foodie and chill.
For those of you that are new here, the Haunted Hangar Bar is something that's been going on for the last 3 years now here at Jock Lindsey's Hangar Bar at Disney Springs. It is their Halloween overlay for the bar, complete with haunted treats. This is where Halloween really starts. Vegetarians, even during the seasons of the haunted house, I have not forgotten about you. Now they don't have any directly as is vegetarian dishes on the menu, so we had to modify a couple things, but you do have options. First one being here is this Skull of the Dead. It is a cheese dip served with plantain chips. It does normally come with a boatload of fried onions on top of it and a barbacoa beef. The onions are vegetarian, but they are coated in Cheeto dust. And then you have the beef, which obviously isn't vegetarian, but you can get it with the onions on top if you so wish. Because of my intolerance, we have that on the side. But you have some nice, big, scoopable plantain chips and this gigantic skull of the cheese. And it is a cheesy dip. Just give it a little spin there. Cheesier than I expected, but not as deep as I expected. It's not a pool. You're not going to get lost in there. A little cheese by itself first. It's a thick, layered cheese. I wouldn't say like Velveeta smooth, but smooth enough where you're going to get some flavor in there. Once you start adding toppings on top, you're not going to tell the difference, but it is cheese forward, like a mild cheddar sauce, but tasty nonetheless. By itself, I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5 claws. Now, going back in for some seconds, you want to try some of the extras. I'm going to go back in for a little bit of the cheese. I'm going to give it a sprinkle of the hot Cheeto covered onions. Don't get me started on my hot Cheeto rant yet again. I'm going to give it a small topping of the barbacoa beef. All nice and juicy. And, I was worried that it wouldn't hold all this. It would buckle under its own weight. Buckle under the horror of it all. But it's standing tall. Standing on business, if you will. Now, it's not Indiana Jones monkey brains, and probably that's a good thing. Nobody wants to be eating brains, but it has the appearance of it. But the flavor is much better. You get a nice, juicy, smoky barbacoa beef. Luckily, the Cheeto dust on the fried onions is very light, but you're still getting a little bit of that like cheesy, hot flavor on top of more cheese. So it's like 2 cheese plus onions plus the barbacoa beef. That's a tasty dip to serve with friends. This is something I would order first, eat fast. Cheese cools down really quickly, even in this heat. That is a tasty dish. With the beef, I'm giving that a 4.25 out of 5 claws. You definitely feel like you're missing something without it, but if you're just going for some cheese dip, I don't think you're going to be upset either. The Candelabra eggs. It is one thing that Hangar Bar will never be shown up on, is its deviled eggs. I don't care how many reinventions of the deviled eggs that Homecoming comes up with, they will never live up to the camp that is Jock Lindsey's Hangar Bar, because they take their deviled eggs seriously and have since they first opened. We've seen deviled eggs in boats, we've seen it in planes, and now we have it in a literal candelabra, and I absolutely love it. It's even got little lights that go all the way through it. Can't really see them out here in the sunlight, but it's a very cool effect, especially if you're either at night or inside. But they are beautiful. So you have this amarillo custard deviled egg. Vegetarians, we did get them without the meat, so you guys can see what the experience is like, and they were happy to modify those for you. But you get them in this little glass you take off the top. Nice purple looking egg. Almost like an egg shooter, almost. Ooh, shoot. Shooty shoot. A little bit of purple mess to light your way. You got a nice little spice to it with that amarillo custard. But it's a nice, wholesome deviled egg. You get plenty of the filling, plenty of egg. I don't think you will be disappointed in this at all. And I think you will be in awe. This has got to be the campiest item they have this year, and it is beautiful. I always love to see they go the extra mile. This isn't a huge place, but the things they do are very big ideas. I would give that egg a 4 out of 5 claws. Now, normally, these deviled eggs come with chicken on top. You have these nice piece of fried chicken and a sweet-and-tart sauce. So you have the amarillo custard egg, the purple egg on the bottom, and then you have the little chicken piece on top, decorated in here. It looks spicy. I don't know if it's actually going to be spicy, but that's why I'm here to try it, so you don't have to. I don't think I can pick this one up. I think I'm just going to be shooting this one like a shot. So, cheers to the Halloween spooks to come. Being camp is one thing. We love camp. Being tasty, it's a whole different other bag. It's like selling camp with none of the personality. These have personality. The chicken's got a little bit of spice to it, not like heat, but like spice. And then you have like that tart that comes in, perfectly balances with the amarillo custard and then the egg itself for like a tasty little fried chicken, sauce fried chicken, deviled egg. I'm loving it. These are absolutely wonderful. The execution is always on point, and honestly, I absolutely love these. Extra points for camp. I'm giving these a 4.75 out of 5 claws. If we do wander back in here before this is over, I will definitely be ordering these again. In the life of a hooligan, there are definitely distinct types of mayhem. There's your regular mayhem, which is fine. But then there's that midnight mayhem, which gives us this midnight mayhem popcorn chicken. My fellow Duvalians will know exactly what midnight mayhem is. And you have this wonderful pieces of fried chicken with candied bacon, some spiced walnuts, and then they give you a little syringe of hot honey sauce. I feel like this hot honey craze is never going away. For some odd reason, with the popcorn chicken, they also decided they wanted actual popcorn, which I despise to the ends of this earth, but you know what? Creates a nice effect. Popcorn chicken, candied bacon, spiced walnuts, and a little basket. I guess they gave it into a lantern because they expect this to light the way. Let's hope this doesn't light the way to a toilet for me, because I am a little scared. I'm going to go ahead and try to get a little bit of everything here on top. I want a spiced walnut.
No, you don't.
Fork doesn't. A little candied bacon. I'm even going to put a tiny piece of the horrible, horrifying popcorn. True horror for me in life. Horror. And then you have the hot honey syringe, because even the food needs its medicine. Whoop! That was about as messy as expected.
Oh my goodness.
Microphone down. Don't worry, we got wet wipes. No, that was a very interesting eat. I would be careful with the syringe. It's got some force behind it, even like a little light touch. I definitely super soaked the table with hot sauce, which actually has some heat to it. I give it like a 2.5 out of 10 on the heat scale, some lip tingle. I almost feel like this would be better served with chopsticks. Trying to stab these things with a fork, especially when you have walnuts and popcorn in there, ain't working. It's hard to scoop, and you can't really stab popcorn or the walnut with just a fork. I think a chopstick would be the much better way to go. It's a fun dish. It's really just a play on the popcorn chicken they've had before with different fixings. I do like the earthiness that the walnuts add to the flavor, even with the hot honey sauce. I could probably eat it without the hot honey sauce, but honestly, I feel like because you have like the breaded chicken and the popcorn and the walnut being a little dry, I feel like you almost need it. It's an interesting plate. I don't know that I'd order again, but at least it's fun to see one time. I'd give this a 3.5 out of 5 claws. The coffin has returned here to Jock Lindsey's Haunted Hangar Bar with these beef and pork bone skewers. You have these decorative bones wrapped in a beef and pork mixture and then wrapped again with prosciutto and roasted. They sit on a bed of like the kefka straw. It's the same kind of straw they normally have for the meatballs year round, but they don't have the meatballs right now during Halloween. And then it's served with a nice creamy tomato sauce to dip it in. Let's go and try the bone by itself. Hopefully I don't have a bone to pick. That's why we're here. It's a very interesting construction. I'm not really sure what I was expecting. But the thing about it's like basically the pork and the beef is ground together, sort of like you would see in like a egg roll. But instead of being wrapped in like an egg wrap, it's wrapped in the prosciutto. So you have meat wrapped meat tube. So like a sausage wrapped in meat on a bone. Very interesting. Give that a 4 out of 5 claws. I'm very interested in this tomato dip here, a creamy tomato dip. You know, with everything else spicy, I'm glad that this isn't also like another spice dip. This is going to be a little bit difficult to do. Haha! We can innovate. Adapt and overcome, as they say. Dipping with the sauce. The nice creamy tomato sauce. A little bit of spice to it, but very tasty. It goes well on the beef. It sort of like cuts through the richness of the beef and pork mixed together. And then the prosciutto, I like the little acidity adds to the top of it. It's actually pretty tasty. It feels like a little small, only you should get 3. Even if you get egg rolls here when they have them normally, you're getting more than 3 of them. But I suppose when you put it all together, it is a significant amount of beef. But I feel like I got more beef with the skull than I got with the coffin. Coffin's still cute. Lid comes up, it still makes music. Then they take the lid away, and you're left with said box. Cute and campy. I would give this one a solid 4 out of 5 claws. It's keeping with the spirit, but I feel like it's a downgrade of Coffin's past.
The vegan option this go around is unfortunately and fortunately a hummus. We ran into our friend Safe Disney Food when we were on our way to our table, and she was telling us that they had a dedicated person for the meatballs and that they scrapped the meatballs mostly because of the amount of like work it took to make those. So very interesting and sad, because I was hoping slightly that I would be able to get meatballs as well, but alas, the menu has removed the meatballs along with some other things. There was like a grouper thing that Bear got last time we were here that's now a shrimp thing, and like 2 other things that got removed. So here we have hummus, and it's got mushrooms and carrots, and I see some seeds, but really we want to get like the meat of here, which is the hummus. So, and these pita chips are like the pita chips you buy in the store that are like in the bag. There's no avoiding mushroom in this, unfortunately. I'm with the force of forces with me. I'm with the force of forces with me. It's not terrible. It's a little thick. I think they went a little heavy on the tahini because you can really taste it. It's very prominent. Hummus should be a little bit softer, creamy, melty, almost like a spread. This is a little more chunky, almost like the cheese thing, where it just seemed like it was just a little chalky. It's a basic hummus. It's kind of like the hummus you get at Geo 82. It's just a thing that you have that you can eat. And these pita chips, I swear I've gotten these from the grocery store before. Overall, I'm going to give it like a 2 out of 5 hummus. It's hummus. And this is Disney Springs. There's so many other things that you can get here, especially as a vegan, that is way better than this. There is the pretzel here too, but again, there are so many other places that have pretzels as well that are better. I would say as a vegan, come here and just liquid diet it and then go eat somewhere else. Blaze is somewhere, Haleo, City Works, House of Blues, like there's so many, Aaron McKenna's is right over there, like just go somewhere else.
Darker the forest, the darkest the dip, they say. With this dark forest dip, your one dedicated vegan option for Jock Lindsey's holiday this year. You have this base hummus dip, topped with carrots, roasted, looks like pumpkin seeds, huge mushrooms, I don't know why they're so big. And then you have some like rainbow, like almost like half but whole roasted carrots on the backside. And then these pita chips, I gotta say, while it does look like something I would get out of somebody's leftover cauldron in the forest, I don't feel this represents the inventiveness and creativity of what we've seen from the chefs here at Jacqueline's Hangar Bar. I know there's always going to be some challenges to doing plant-based food in such a small kitchen, but this one hurts a little bit. I won't lie. I'm going to dig right in, and I'm going to take some of the base hummus. You have the carrots in there. So, like, they have carrots chopped up in here and little bits of mushroom chopped up in here. But then they also give you these huge, I've seen them in anime level mushrooms. And then these huge roasted carrots also. Like, I don't understand why you needed it both ways. I thought you should have picked one. Like, maybe if a garnish, but even if it was a garnish, you didn't need this many. Either way, I'm going all in. I think my biggest pain point to this is that it's plain hummus. Like, plain Jane, cardboard, create a character, base level, base anime character with no sort of upgrades level hummus. Being that it's like the holidays, you could have gone with a straight pumpkin hummus, made it orange. You could have done edamame hummus and made it green. But no, you just went with a plain Jane, boring, plain hummus, topped with mushrooms and carrots. Even with the seeds, I'm not buying it. This feels like they literally just scooped hummus out of a bowl, threw it in here, and then topped it with toppings because nothing tastes cohesive. Even though like you have the roasted carrots and mushrooms, like they just taste like a topping on the hummus, and there's no like through line through the theme. I'm just not feeling it. I feel like they could have done a lot better. This feels like a rushed afterthought. If anything, I'm sorry, plant-based community. I feel like they did you wrong for this haunted hangar bar. I'm giving that one a 1.75 out of 5 claws. It's edible, but like the lack of creativity just hurts me to the core.
So I kind of went a little boring on my drink, mostly because my default is vegan and everything else needs modifications, and there's only so much that you want to modify. So cheers to the Fountain of Youth. Still gives me Indiana Jones ride vibes every time that I drink it, and I think it's a very delicious drink. It's vodka, but it's not too, and there's like blue Curaçao, but it's not very tart, so it's just kind of like nice. I would give it a 3 out of 5.
We can't do Halloween or Halloween pregame without some skullish and haunted libations, so I went with the Skull and Sour. This is the Haunted Hangar Bar's take on a whiskey sour. You have Jameson whiskey with some Bols peach schnapps liqueur, and then you also have pumpkin spice syrup. So I don't subscribe to pumpkin spice lattes. I go with PSS, pumpkin spice syrup, and then some apple pearl boba balls in there as well, along with some gummy string, because why not some entrails inside your skull that you're going to drink out of? Now, if only it actually was a skull, I'd be a little bit more excited. More like a skull sweet and sour, far less sour than like a whiskey sour, but that probably coming from that pumpkin syrup and then the apple boba balls. It's light and crisp, more refreshing. So if you are afraid of the whiskey punch too early in Halloween, this might be for you. For me, I need some liquid courage, and this is not going to do it in the haunted houses that are to come. I would do 3.5 out of 5 claws. Here we have the Temple of Doom margarita as if calling out Kali Ma because it wants to rip the heart from your chest. You have Patron liqueur, blackberry syrup, Bols brandy in here as well with this black salt rim as if to give you a black spot, tempting you to enter this temple. I can tell you, it's a messy boy. Definitely not afraid to get its hands dirty, but I suppose if it's trying to rip your heart out of your chest, one would expect a little mess. I would definitely recommend doing the mosquito tactic. Drink, pull, push, because you need to get some layers in there. It's definitely got a nice tart to it. Very middle of the road margarita. You can definitely taste the Patron, but it's not going to put you in your behind. But you're definitely getting those flavors of the blackberry in there and the brandy. It is an acceptable margarita. Just be aware you will end up with the black spot or black tip fingers as if somebody casts a spell on you, which I suppose works for the season. I would give that 3.75 out of 5 claws. Continuing with our seasonal libations, we have the Fright of the Espresso. 3 miniature seasonal espresso martinis for your enjoyment, full of the haunted holidays. The first up here, we have the pumpkin spice espresso martini. You have cold brew with pumpkin spice liqueur. A little pumpkin spice like sprinkle there on top. Definitely getting a little bite of that cold brew and the pumpkin spice. You pumpkin spice girls, boys, they and none of them. This one is going to be for you. I'm curious if they'll do a full size one of each one. Maybe we'll ask our server when he comes back, but like, that is delicious. And I'm not one of those pumpkin spice people. I would give that one a 4.25 out of 5 claws. Now we have the caramel spiced marshmallow espresso martini. This one has caramel popcorn on it, along with cold brew, Kahlua liqueur, and Tito's, and Bailey's. So this one should be creamier and stronger than its predecessor. Woo! And that one, while smooth, bites back. That's probably the Tito's combined with the Bailey's, but it is far creamier, far smoothie. If this was any thicker, it would be a smoothie, like a melted milkshake almost. But definitely very much cold brew combined with that Kahlua, sticking to the tongue. This one I like, even with the floating popcorn. I won't judge for judgment's sake because popcorn is gross, but still delicious. 4.5 out of 5 claws. Last up, we have the toasted marshmallow espresso martini with the little floating marshmallows, Kahlua liqueur, and there's also Tito's in this as well. That one is much more my speed. Espresso martinis are very much a crafted to your sort of personality sort of drink. Some people like them creamy, some people like them weak, some people like them strong. I like to taste the bite of the espresso in my drink. I like the flavors, but I don't want to feel like I'm just drinking a milkshake. I would give this one a 4.25 out of 5 claws. I don't think it's the best one, but it's my favorite one because I like the consistency and the bite of it. If I'm rating them all as they are, I definitely think that the salted caramel one is the best. But I'm giving the whole thing, just the flight itself, a 4.5 out of 5 claws. This is going to start we're still in summer junior, but eventually we'll be in pre-fall. You're gonna love this.
The Midnight Relic scares me, but I commit to my mistakes. So not cream of mushroom. What am I saying? Coconut cream. Eat your heart out. Actually, it doesn't taste like coconut at all. It's just smooth, delicious, even though it's Tito's, which is like, in my opinion, a bottom tier vodka. It is pretty delicious. It's got some nice complexity to it. I would give it a 4 out of 5 drinks. I think it's the best drink. I have not had any of the other specialty drinks, but this one is my favorite.
The Midnight Relic, probably the drink of which I am most afraid of at these new seasonal libations. It is Tito's vodka, cream of coconut, some edible glitter, lemon juice, and ube syrup. I am not a cream of coconut fan. I have I think higher tolerance for coconut than the princess has, but like I'm not volunteering for coconut normally. But we ran into two members of the community inside of the bar, and they said that it actually did not taste like coconut. And I told them I would take their word for it, and I'd make sure that I tried it. So here I am, keep it to my word. I will in fact try it. At the very least, I'm glad they're making use of the circle ice cubes they use for the old fashioned. It feels like a consolation prize to me. I don't know why, but it does. Okay. I don't mind that. It's given like a melted freeze pop sort of vibe, but like not as like overly sweet. I don't feel like I'm drinking straight syrup. It's very like a subtle, refreshing cocktail. The cream of coconut helps thicken it up, but it's not really like a coconut flavor. The ube that's in there is with the lemon juice are the strongest flavors. So you're getting like a sweet tart level drink. I think sweet tart is what it probably reminds me of the most, like a liquid sweet tart. That is very doable, and I feel fancy with my little martini glass. So I approve. I give that one a 4.5 out of 5 claws. See, when the community gives recommendations, you guys don't lead us wrong. That feels like another successful haunted Halloween here at Jock Lindsey's Hangar Bar.
I think it was a little bit of a nightmare for me,
Yes.
mostly because of the hummus option. I feel like that just isn't enough. But if it's tapas, sure. I just think Bear got a lot more than I did, and last year I think I had more.
Yeah, we were able to modify like 2 or 3 things for her last
yeah.
year. This year, literally only the hummus for her. There's lots of things you can still modify to be vegetarian, but I feel like it's an uneven balance of
Agreed.
things. But I don't know what you guys think. This is obviously something that happens yearly. They're going to do it again for Christmas, so we know what you guys think.
Yes.
Are you looking forward to the new menu? Do you like the things that you saw? Or do you feel they could do a bit more? We always want to hear from you guys. So as always, if there's anything else you can see us do, the comments will be the place to find us. Hit the notification bell to see other videos like this. And
We have new videos 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
we'll see you soon.
Be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if you don't comment, well, will Bear ever be a Halloween? Or will he just stay a Nessie?
I think I'll just take my pilot's license and just leave this place. But you heard the girl.